what it was really like growing up with parents who hated that I skated. Now, I just want to start off with I didn't grow up with my mom or dad. I grew up with my grandfather and grandma on my dad's side. That's a whole different story on why. But this is not no disrespect to them at all. They were just born in a different generation and they didn't understand skateboarding at all. To them, it was a very negative thing. But they are the reason why I got my first skateboard and they helped me, with a lot in my life. And I love them very much and rest in peace to them. But I look at the stories back in the day as more of funny, even though it was kind of like sad at the time. But now that I'm older, I laugh. And I kind of agree with some of the things they say about skating. But they really didn't understand this shit at all. This shit was crazy. Now let's start off when I first got my first skateboard. So my first skateboard was a Toys R Us skateboard, technically. The way I got that was let me get back in this shade because I know it's windy and I think this is where the shade's coming from. I think it's blocking the wind. My bad, y'all. Sorry if it's a little too dark. But yeah, so it was at Toys R Us and they took me to get some Christmas toys or whatever. And I had like $20 left to get something because I had a little budget of I don't know how much it was, but it was like $20. And I had everything that I wanted and I was happy, I was grateful. But they was like, you have 20 more bucks. I was like, okay, what can I get? What can I get? And I saw a rack of like fake Toys R Us skateboards. And I went and grabbed that. Okay, let me get in the car because I know it's probably windy. We don't want to do this again. But yeah, I'll talk until we get to the car. I went and grabbed that, right? And I was like 6 years old at the time. I did not ride that skateboard. I think I rode it once and got bored no, I rode it once, I fell, scraped my elbow, and then I was like, I'm done with this shit. And I didn't ride that skateboard for 4 years. So yeah, I didn't skate for 4 years after I tried to ride it for the first time, pause. And when I was 10 years old, my friend Chewy, RIP, he was like my best friend. He was like my neighbor, like a house over. And we were just trying to get into anything we could that was like active. For some reason, we wanted to be like talented at everything. I'm talking about yo-yos, gymnastics. And so we was like jumping on freaking 30 mattresses in the street. We bought cheap yo-yos. We were trying to be like yo-yo masters and was just thinking of anything to do. And skateboarding became one of those because his neighbors, which was his cousins, were skaters. And they showed us how to ollie or, they showed us some tricks and shit. And I fell in love. Now, I remember my grandparents thinking this was just like a phase, whatever. He's playing with a skateboard. Nothing too crazy about that. Man, I was skating every single day. Like crazy. Every single day. And I was still kind of weak, so it didn't look anything like intense yet until I started getting better. But I was riding a fake skateboard at the time. So one day my grandma was at the mall. She always took me to the mall with her because she wanted to go to the mall. She couldn't leave me by myself. So, and I'm 10 years old. I beg her. We passed by an actual real skate shop. I think it was called Borders or something. I don't know. And we go up in there and she was like, we'll just look around. So she asked how much the skateboards were. And it was a blank skateboard. Well, the skateboards were probably like $40, $50 at the time or something like that. And I was like, what about a blank skateboard? Like, just give me something, the cheapest one. And it was $20. And I begged her and she bought that skateboard. But the skateboard didn't come with grip, obviously. And I kept telling her, I was like, we need grip tape, grandma, please. I was going to use the trucks from my old skateboard, the fake one. I didn't care. I just wanted a real skateboard. And she was like, we can't do that. And I was like, she was like, she can't afford it. I was like, come on, please. She was like, I can't afford it. I don't have it. And I was like, fuck. All right. So she goes into like JCPenney's or something. And I'm sitting outside on the bench waiting on her. Like, the little hallway. It's like the outside indoor area of the mall. And I remember these older kids walking past me. It was like, there was some girls and stuff. And they had like fresh skateboards and everything. They was all smiling and shit. They was like dressed like Bam Margera. And I remember them walking, laughing, and boom, boom, boom. And I'm sitting down with my blank deck, just nothing on it. And they walk past, they look at me, and I'm smiling. And they're like, what they say? They said some fuck that shit. They said something like, nice skateboard. And they started laughing and shit. And I'm like, I got sad as fuck. I'm like, okay, fuck y'all niggas, bro. And I'm 10 years old at the time. I'm like, what the hell? I still think about that story. Like, people crazy, because I could never imagine doing that to a 10-year-old. So this is when it starts getting very serious for me, skateboarding wise. I start going in. I'm practicing every day. And remember, I'm skating this board with no grip tape. So I'm doing that for like over a year, skating without grip tape. That's how serious I am about skateboarding. I am in love with it. I didn't give a fuck. I was like, I'm gonna skate this until I get some grip tape. Then eventually I got clear grip. But we're gonna fast forward a little bit. So I get super into this shit. And when you start skateboarding, you start meeting people in the neighborhood. And I already knew some people because of my best friend's cousins. And I'll be around them. And I had some other friends too that I eventually met. It was a lot of skateboarders in Inglewood. I was on 108th Street in Yukon area by Morningside High School. That being said, though, my family is black side of my family. I'm Puerto Rican and black, by the way. But they're like, my grandparents are like very old school. They're like, you know, they were gangbangers. They went through a lot of fucking shits, and they were like closed-minded when it came down to anything else that wasn't what they thought it should be. For example, the way you dress and shit. And skateboarders at that time especially dressed crazy as hell to them. The skaters that I were around was one older than me. I was like 11, 10. They were older than me. So, but that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter in like the skate world, really, especially back then. It's like, if you're a skateboarder and you're good and you have that passion for it, we didn't really look at age. But outside looking in, that's kind of fucking weird. Seeing a 10-year-old with like a 16-year-old, 17-year-old, whatever the fuck. But we was just skating, and they were neighbors and shit, and you know, people from around the block. But they dressed like rock stars. They dressed like Bam Margera. They was super skinny tight jeans, wearing skulls on their shirts, had super long hair. They looked like girls. They didn't give a fuck. That was just the style back then. And my grandfather was like, what the fuck? Who the fuck are you hanging out with? And a lot of them look bummy as hell too. Growing up now, I see it, because a lot of you niggas don't shower. A lot of you niggas don't give a fuck as skaters. Y'all just want to skate. And that's what a lot of them niggas was doing. So my grandfather was like, why are you hanging out with homeless guys that dress like girls? So he started tripping a lot. And he was like dead ass serious. He didn't like the fact that I skated. I remember another Christmas was coming up, and he was asking me what I wanted for Christmas. And I think I was in middle school at the time. And he was like, I was like, I want a complete skateboard if that's okay. And he was like, no, you're getting a bike. I'm like, what the fuck? I don't want no damn bike. But, you know, he's like, you're getting a bike. I was like, I'm not going to use it. But he was like that serious about it. He used to tell the family, everybody in my family, like he would do anything he can to get me to stop skating. He would tell everybody in my family, he would try to embarrass me. He was like, he's gay, he's got boyfriends, he's dating them, because you would see me in the streets walking with guys with skinny jeans and long ass hair that's covering their face and shit. So he's like, he's always with them doing stuff. Has boyfriends, and he would really be trying to embarrass me. I was so obsessed with skating, bro, that I would have the skateboard in my room all the time, and I would just analyze it. You feel me? Like stand on it, pause, and just like try to do shit. And then he would say that he is in the room worshiping the skateboard like it's a god, because they was very religious too. And he was like, he's in there praying to the skateboard, sleeping with the skateboard. I'm like, nigga, you know how uncomfortable it is to sleep with a skateboard? I don't know if I just said this, but there was times he would try to break my skateboard too in front of me, but I don't think he understood how strong a skateboard was. But just him like getting upset, you know, that like I was skating so much and didn't care about anything else, it bothered him a lot, because he didn't really understand that skateboarding was actually a positive thing for me. Because I grew up in Inglewood, and everybody else in my fucking family were gangbangers and shit. I was the generation to cut that shit off because of the skateboard. I'm not fucking gangbanging. If anything, that's more weird. They hanging out with they homies all the time, not doing shit. Like, we over here skating and having fucking fun. Anyways, But so you know, things like that would fucking happen a lot. But as this is happening, it just motivated me more, and I'm getting better and better and better. And this is mainly my grandfather acting like this. My grandmother, she was very sweet. She didn't really care. She was just confused on what's going on. So she wasn't really tripping on it. But sometimes she would agree with him, but she would never say nothing crazy. I don't remember her saying nothing crazy. She always was supportive. And then, yeah, so I kept getting better and better, where it got to the point where I was the best one in the crew of skaters I was skating with, even though they were older than me. I just got rapidly good. And then they were all supportive too with that. It was no jealousy. And there was a competition in Inglewood at Darby Skate Park, which they built that skate park because of us, because they saw us skating like a small strip of land at this one park, and the staffs made a petition happen and started a skate park because of us, Darby Park, which is great. So there was a competition there called Inglewood Games. I went to that contest. My grandmother took me. My grandfather couldn't go really because he, you know, had some problems like sicknesses and shit like that. So he couldn't really move a lot. But he, you know, he would get up and go to the stores and stuff like that. But he couldn't really just be out. No, I take that back. He came to the second one, I think. But the first one he didn't come to. So anyway, so I go to this one, right? And I win that motherfucker. Like, there's a bunch of like different games, like skate contests in it. And for my age, I won every single one of them. So I came back with like 3 trophies, medals, and all that. And I remember coming back happy as hell, skateboards, product, all this shit, proud of myself. And I was like, Grandpa, look, like, I told you I'm good at this shit. I didn't say that, but I didn't cuss, but I was like, I'm good at this. He looks at the stuff and he's like, he doesn't really acknowledge it. He's like, oh, that's cool, but where's the money? And that shit hurt. I was like, damn, you know, like, but now that I'm older, I'm like, yeah, what the fuck is the damn money, nigga? Like, no. But this was like a small Inglewood game thing, but that actually does mean a lot nowadays with skateboarding. People are killing themselves for no money, but now I feel like skateboarding is healing, so people are starting to get better sponsors, competitions are getting more funds and shit. But anyways, that hurt because I'm like, damn, man, I've been working my ass off and I'm getting acknowledged for it. And you know, small companies are thinking about sponsoring, like just little skate shops and shit around there. So time goes by, and I'm like 15, around just in high school type shit. And I remember I came home super late from skating one day. Like, I was not supposed to do that. I got school the next day. We are in a dangerous neighborhood, but I was just trying to get this trick. I was training. I was filming through my little handy camera and stuff like that I got, and I was just going in. And I came home late, probably like 10 o'clock at night. I don't have a cell phone. I don't got any of that. And I come home, and he is furious. He is pissed, as he should be. I get that part. But this is the funny part, man. This is funny as hell. That's how I know me and him will get along right now. But because it's kind of comedy. But he was dead ass serious. He was like, what were you doing? And I was like, I was just skating. He was like, what were you doing? I was like, I was skating. Like, I swear that's all I was doing. And then he pulls me to the side away from my grandma, and he has to talk with me. He's like, look, if you were trying to see a girl or something, like if you were with a girl, like that's cool. Like, just let me know, like, you're good if you was with a girl. And I was like, no, I was skating. That's it. I promise you. He was pissed. He was mad as fuck. He was like, you was really just out there skating? And then I got in trouble and got my skateboard taken away again for the 50 millionth time. And then a lot of other stuff happened with that I can't even fully explain. But a lot of things happened with them not understanding me skateboarding and stuff like that. And when I turned around 16, 17, he passed away. And that's when things started getting better with me on the internet wise. Like, I started doing the YouTube stuff with Nigel and all this, getting sponsors. So he didn't really get to see all that. And I wish he could, because he'll be hyped. He'll be hyped and stuff. And I'm not saying like I have any anger towards my grandfather or anything. It was just, you know, kind of difficult growing up with grandparents who didn't understand skating. And I kind of I get it. Like, that's kind of difficult, especially at that time. I remember showing my grandma the Baker 3 video. I showed her the Otis's part. And he landed a trick, and she said that it looked like he hurt himself. Like she was so stuck on that for a while. Like, all he did was land a trick and just bend over for a minute, like it was some steez. And she was like, he's in pain. Like, this is not good. I was like, damn, no, what the fuck? This nigga's the golden child right now. He about to go crazy and he not even hurt. And then I remember showing my grandfather those skate videos, and he was just really big on like, I mean, Baker 3 wasn't a good video to show them. To their defense, they are crazy in that video, but it just wasn't helping. And you know, you didn't see like where the money is in this and all that. And you kind of right to a certain extent, because it's like, you know, skateboarding does have its struggles and shit. But if he saw the way I started doing it, and with the YouTube and everything else, he would have been super proud. Because I think he just didn't understand, like, how can you just do tricks and that's it? Nah, I took this shit on my own and started doing it my way, and shit started working out great. But yeah, my bad, y'all. So I actually pulled up to the studio and I started talking in the car, which I'm supposed to be in the studio right now. So I don't want to keep tracks waiting too long. Say what's up.
What up?
I was telling him about when I was younger. I'll go in the room real quick. I'm gonna be loud up here. Damn, you a vampire in this motherfucker.
It's called 95-degree heat. Like that sun is gonna burn my house up.
Fuck. That's that, y'all. I'm gonna get to working on some songs with tracks or whatever we do. But yeah, that's just a little bit of what I was telling you guys about my grandparents, but it's a lot more to it. But comment below if you guys could relate to that, and I can also talk about what it was like skating in Inglewood, skating in the hood or bad area, whatever y'all want me to talk about. See you guys in the next video. Play that motherfucking beat. Made this shit right now?
Like 5 minutes before you came in here. Swear to God, I didn't check. You didn't check.
1-1-1.